And get this, a great place to study the Earth is from the air, and NASA scientists are doing just that right above Kern County. Recently, I took a flight with the crew along with some of the nation's brightest young minds.
3, 2, 1, start.
A countdown is something you'd expect to hear on a NASA aircraft, but behind the sound of engine and the clicking of keys, you hear the voices
To be able to fly with NASA, that's really cool.
of young people,
Just a really cool experience.
college seniors,
It's really cool.
to be exact.
The public really doesn't know how bad it's gotten.
This is Taylor Krause. She's one of 32 undergraduate students selected from across the country to join NASA this summer. She's also the only one from California.
So you see a lot of respiratory problems like asthma, and you're starting to see this in children.
NASA's DC-8 airliner can fly anywhere in the entire world. But for this study, the flight path is centered over Southern California, with multiple stops in Kern County.
We're flying through Bakersfield, over various pollution sites that emit different greenhouse gases like dairy farms, oil fields.
The 190,000-pound four-engine jet has been redesigned into a flying laboratory. And from this single flight, air particles are grabbed from most of SoCal.
Just in the Central Valley in the LA Basin.
Dartmouth senior Brad Garzinski has the task of collecting the samples. So here's how it works.
We have a rack of cans, and each can is empty to begin with.
The cans are attached to tiny hoses connected to the outside of the jet.
What we do is close the output so the air is locked into that snake, open, or we call them snakes.
And the snakes not only lock in air from different areas, but also at different altitudes.
To hopefully get a profile of different gases.
From a high altitude, the jet suddenly descends as if it's landing.
Terrain.
And as we get closer to the ground,
We open that can,
the snakes pull in air.
and then we close the can.
And at the very last second,
Pull up. Pull up.
the pilot pulls up and the jet's back at normal altitude.
The Central Valley has not improved at the rate that Los Angeles County has improved.
Donald Blake is a chemistry professor at UC Irvine. He's worked with NASA for years. Blake specifically requested not one, but 2 false landings in Bakersfield, the only city they did this.
For the number of people and the number of cars, Central Valley is more polluted than LA on a per capita basis.
Blake's concerns for Kern County are rooted in the oil and ag fields.
The cows, the silage, the holding ponds
From rows of cows
give off certain gases.
to rows of pumps, gases are released and then spread through neighborhoods and schools.
The more we study it, the more accurate we can act.
The American Lung Association's annual State of the Air report ranked Bakersfield at number 2 in the country for having on average the most unhealthy air pollution days. The report also found Bakersfield failed the national air quality standard for yet another year.
Just integrating different techniques as like a thought process of, oh, maybe I shouldn't drive my car to work today. I can ride my bike or I can walk to school. Making it something that is easy.
Well, we're coming around and going out over the water, yeah?
It's important to note the students' findings aren't just part of their studies. This is real science with real professionals aboard a real NASA aircraft. That's a fact Krause can appreciate.
The goal is that maybe at some point they wouldn't really need us anymore, that there wouldn't be such high levels of pollution.
She hopes her work will one day toughen how pollutants are regulated.
I would really hope to be a part of something that educates people and does make a change.
To improve the air Californians breathe in every minute of every day. And the students will now take their air samples back to a lab at UC Irvine, where they'll spend the rest of the summer going through thousands of particles. NASA plans to continue these flights into the future with the ultimate goal of improved air quality here in California.
Well done.
Thank you.
Can't believe it. Up there on an airplane.
On an airplane
Doing
that whole time.
Flying over the area. That was that's tremendous. I've never seen a reporter go up and do something quite like that.
It was amazing. A bucket list day, to say the least. I've never sat in a cockpit before, and it was amazing.
And they did the landings
They did the false
right?
landing, so you would come down and you heard the alarms of the plane saying terrain, 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 pull up, and
I kind of had an internal panic, but the pilots were, calm, cool, and collected, so I was
Yeah.
able to sit back and relax with them as well.